Support for Arts Weekly is provided by PBS 39, the Hour Foundation, Martin Tierney, and the Community Foundation of Greater Fort Wayne.
This is Arts Weekly. Arts Weekly is produced in cooperation with the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design.
Welcome to Arts Weekly. I'm John O'Connell, Dean of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Fall is upon us, and that means fall art fairs and festivals, as well as the start of the theater season. In the second half of the show, I'll be joined by Joe Rickey and Tracy Manning from Taylor University talking about their upcoming production of Wit. But first, I'm pleased to welcome Marsha Wulpi from Art at the Riverside and Renata Robinson from Eel Rivers Art Festival. Ladies, welcome to Arts Weekly, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
It is the fall season. There's art festivals everywhere, right?
Yes.
And what a great time to have it. As fall comes upon us, the leaves change and the artists come out. Renata, let's start with you and talk a little bit about your festival. What is the name of it and where is it located?
It's called the Eel River Arts Festival. This is our second year, so we're excited. It's in downtown North Manchester in the Eel River Gardens, which is at the corner of Market and Main Street.
And how long have you been affiliated with the festival?
I have been, I'm the executive director of Manchester Main Street, which is running the event. It's a nonprofit, and I've been the executive director there for 3 years now.
Oh, what's the goal of the Main Street organization?
Manchester Main Street is part of the Indiana Main Street program, which is also part of the National Main Street program. And basically, Main Streets revitalize towns. They're nonprofits, so it's volunteers that want to make the town a better place to live, and so we do promotional events. We try to bring people downtown.
Did you come to Manchester for this organization, or were you there already?
No, I actually lived in California for the last 17 years and moved back to this area. I'm originally from Indianapolis, so I was born and raised in Indiana. We have a family farm right outside of South Whitley, so I came back 3 years ago, got associated with North Manchester and what was happening there, and I'm excited to be doing what I'm doing.
Right, right. So 2 years into the festival, what did you learn last year that might be different this year?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
1 year, and boy, we know what we're doing now.
Yeah, no, we definitely don't know what we're doing yet, but yeah, there is so much that goes into an arts festival. This year we're introducing live music to it, so we're adding more activities to do at the festival.
But essentially, it's an art festival. So you're celebrating local artists. Are they regional artists?
Yes.
How did artists get involved in your festival?
Yes, you find artists wherever they are.
Wherever they are, whatever art hole they crawl out.
Yeah, you hunt them down. No. Yeah, so we have the broad range of art. We have ceramic artists, we have pottery, which is I guess ceramics, we have painting, we have photography, we have mixed media, jewelry. So you just try to find great artists that are interested in doing the fair.
Do you think, are they local, most of them, or have you been able to find some in, let's say, Michigan or Ohio that want to come over and...
Currently, most of our artists are in the state of Indiana. We do have people coming as far as Fishers and Indianapolis. There's people from Fort Wayne and Goshen and Elkhart, so yeah.
Is this a volunteer organization that put the festival together?
Yes, Manchester Main Street is a nonprofit, so we have tons and tons of amazing volunteers that have helped make this happen.
And what kind of musicians are you adding this year?
We have 6 different acts, so it's all local North Manchester. I know.
I love it.
Non-stop music.
Yes, exactly. We learned to add music, so we're having 6 of them all day long. Not one, all of them, all day long.
So Americana, folk, jazz, Manchester University Jazz Quartet will be there. So little something for everyone.
And who are some of the artists that you expect to be showing?
We will have local artists, not Candy Cooper, local artist, oh gosh, this is good. Janet Eckelbarger.
Okay.
We'll have Susan Ring and Vicki Carpenter from North Manchester. We also are going to have Penny French Deal, who's a North Manchester artist who has a gallery out of Roanoke, and she's going to be doing a en plein air art demonstration.
Wow.
So she's going to have a canvas and her oil paints and just paint a scene from the event.
So you have sort of participatory events as well, like
Yes.
watching artists do their work, or are there family activities? Are there children's activities that go along with the festival?
Yes, we'll have craft making activities for kids. We'll have a face painter, and yeah, plenty of food to eat. So
Yeah.
it'll be a great day.
Is the food all local, do you think, or do you have people coming in from other cities too?
We'll have one food booth,
Oh, okay.
but we are sourcing all local food. So
Great.
So it should be
That's terrific. Great. And what are the dates of it?
So it is this Saturday.
Oh, this
so
Saturday.
It's coming up.
Right, it's coming up. All right.
2 days. This Saturday, September 13th, from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m.
Great.
So it's a full day.
And if people want to get information, how can they do that?
Our website is manchestermainstreet.org.
Okay.
And we also have a Facebook page, which is Eel River Arts Festival.
Great. And if they want more information, they can also call 260-901-6045. Is that correct?
Correct.
Great, great. Well, congratulations on your second year. It sounds exciting. You've added music. I can't wait to see what you add next year.
Thank you.
Lessons learned, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Marsha, welcome to Arts Weekly. You have
you
a
for
festival
having me.
coming up as well.
Right, ours is in 2 weeks, September 27th. It's from 10 to 5. It's in Leo at the Riverside Gardens, which is right on the banks of the St. Joe River.
Great. And it's your second year as well?
It is our second year as well.
So you've
yes.
learned lessons from the
Yes.
first year. What are those lessons that you've learned?
Well, the lessons I've learned is that you have to psych out the weather guy.
yeah, right.
If the weather's good, the festival is successful.
Right.
If the weather's not. So we will have good weather again on September 27th. We, I guess the biggest lesson we learned is to dream big, because last year it was way beyond what I dreamed it would be.
Really?
We planned for a whole year, and it was so successful that we were just amazed. So we're basically copying that for this year and moving forward.
So when you say successful, do you mean because of the response of the crowds, or do you mean the artists really responded and that they sold well, or what are some of the elements that make it successful?
Every artist we had last year we had evaluations, and every artist was more than willing to come back, and most of them are. We had a few that didn't get juried in this year because we're a juried art fair.
Oh, let's stop for a second and talk a little bit about that. Renata is not a juried.
No, it is.
Oh, it is juried as well. Oh, we didn't get to talk about that. Would one of you please talk about what that means for our audience, but what juried means?
Juried means that you have to apply. There is an application fee, and then you have to present your art to the jury, and they will decide if that qualifies or is that kind of what we're looking for. Gives us really good control over the quality of the artist, as well as balancing all the mediums, which I think is critical, because I'm kind of an art fair junkie.
Okay.
And when I go to an art fair and I see 10 potters and 3 painters, something's not right there.
Right.
And it can be out of balance. Ours is really balanced. In fact, I have all the percentages, because I'm a spreadsheet kind of person.
Are you?
So I have the percentages of what medium is what percentage of the show. So that gives us a really good control. I have 3 local artists that are my jury, and they do an incredible job judging all the mediums.
Renata, how did you pick a jury, and what does your jury consist of?
Our jury is our committee as well, our Eel River Arts Festival committee, and we did the same thing. We basically were trying to get a good mix of different artists.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you take into consideration sort of the price point of the artwork? Does that come into play at all for
I
a
don't
festival?
take into the consideration.
You don't take into
I think some of
consideration.
the artists do.
Okay.
The artist may say, if I'm going to Ann Arbor Art Show, and that's been established for years, and there's a really big reputation there, they may bring more expensive items. For a smaller show, they may bring less expensive items. So that's something that they make that judgment on. We don't.
You don't. And so what are you adding this year that perhaps you didn't have last year?
Well, we do have Pedal City coming out, who's going to give rides through the Leo area.
I don't know what Pedal City is.
Pedal City is the 10-passenger bike that you see downtown.
Wait, is that the beer Beer
well,
peddling?
No,
not
that's
that
not
one.
beer. But
it's not beer. But
I guess
it's,
people downtown maybe.
But here it's not. But
It's
it is
here
that.
it's not,
It is
yes.
that thing where 10
Yes,
people
yeah.
paddle. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
coming
there-
out to the fair.
We were just participated in a parade last week, and we brought Pedal City out for the parade, and the chamber members, some of the chamber members rode on that and to kind of publicize the fair.
Great.
So we do have them coming this year. We did have music last year, and we have kind of toned that down a little bit this year. Made it a little bit simpler. We will have music throughout the day, but a lot of it will just be acoustical guitar.
Okay.
We've got a couple harpists. We have a dance studio that's coming as well.
Oh, good.
So we're celebrating all of the arts, and we even have the culinary arts because we have a food truck competition with all the Fort Wayne food trucks.
Of which there are, quite frankly, quite a few these days.
Quite a few,
It's become
yeah.
quite a thing in downtown
I think
Fort
there
Wayne.
were 12 at Foodstock, and I think all 12 of those are coming
Great.
for us
Great.
too.
Yeah.
So.
Who are some of the artists that you have coming that
Well,
we might know?
we have several artists that are nationally known.
Okay.
One of them is Terry Armstrong, who's in Warsaw, and we were so honored to have him last year, and he is coming back this year because he did very well. We have Christy Jo Vetter.
Oh, yeah.
She's pretty well known as a
Absolutely.
potter here in the area. We have Richard Helfinger. He is an artist, a watercolor artist up in the Huntertown area. We have Janet Webb does jewelry.
How many booths do you expect? How many
We have
artists?
36, and we
36.
limited it to 36 this year.
What is your total, Renata? I don't
We
think
have
we talked.
25.
25. That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
and we
yeah.
almost doubled from last year, so we've been successful as well. I think.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have other outside activities happening other than the pedal bike and the.
Yes, yeah. We have the food truck competition. We have the bicycle tours. We have kids' activities as well. That's something new that we've added this year. We had one artist last year that does a demonstration of marbled fabric, and there were a lot of families and kids that really got into that.
Right,
So we decided to add a little bit more for kids to do. Plus, we're in the middle of a huge, beautiful park.
Oh, okay.
So there's all kinds of family activities going on there.
Great, great. Well, what is the contact information for this festival and the dates again? Because we're
The date is September 27th from 10 to
Okay.
5, so we hope to see you there.
right.
The contact information is www.artattheriverside.com.
All right.
We're also very active on Facebook, and we have a YouTube channel.
Great. So let's see. I can go south this Saturday, and I can go north in 2 weeks.
Right,
And I
absolutely.
can see completely different artists and have a completely different experience.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you both for joining me. It's
Thank
been
you.
wonderful meeting you, and I wish you all the luck with your great festivals.
Thank you so
and
much.
they both sound really fun and exciting, and slightly different, which is good.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Thank you.
Please take this minute to view our performance calendar of what's coming up in our area, and I'll be right back with Joe Rickey and Tracy Manning from Taylor University. The theater department at Taylor University in Upland is hard at work on their fall production of Wit. And joining me today to share all the details of this production are director Joe Rickey and actress Tracy Manning. Thank you both for joining me on Arts Weekly. It's wonderful to have you on my show. You've not been on before.
No, yeah, thank you.
And we've met, Joe and I have met a couple of times through theater events. Tracy, I've never met you, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show. You're doing one of my all-time favorite plays.
Good.
It's really a treasure, this play, isn't it?
It's a great play.
Yeah, it's really a great play. First of all, congratulations on your successful program at Taylor University. Why did you pick this play in particular?
Well, I'm the director of the play, and Tracy's playing the lead role, Vivian Baring, and I think that she sort of wanted to play this role for a long time.
I don't know many actresses that don't want to play this role. Now, but let's stop there for a second and tell a little bit about your background, Tracy. Your background is in theater.
It is.
You started at a very young age, is that correct?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the first time I darkened the door of a theater was on the coat strings of my sister. I think I was in the 8th grade.
Wow.
And it was for a work day, and I hung wallpaper with the high school theater director for a couple of hours, and I don't think I've ever left.
You've never looked back.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And you have some training as an actress, and you've done some professional work as an actress. What brought you to Taylor University, and what do you do at Taylor University?
I currently am full-time faculty at Taylor in the communications department, and I serve as director of the theater program there that sits within that department. This is my 10th year at Taylor.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I came really just to direct one show. I came as an artist in residence 10 years ago to direct one play. My family had moved through a series of events to the Grant County area, and I wasn't sure where I was going to do theater at that juncture, but through a series of events, Taylor had a place, and I've been there ever since.
And Joe, you're at Taylor as well on the faculty.
Right. I'm a professor of English literature.
Ironic.
So, yeah, ironic in light
For those
of, in
people
light
who
of
don't
this
know
play.
why it's ironic because you're directing a show about an English professor.
Right.
It's very ironic.
And I'm teaching, I teach medieval and Renaissance literature especially, so it makes it even that much more ironic because the lead character, played by Tracy, Vivian Baring, is a scholar, a Renaissance scholar, specializing in the literature of John Donne, which I'm teaching next week.
Are you? Well, I think I want to call those students and give them a warning on the difficulty of John Donne.
Yeah.
It is kind of difficult.
Difficult and lovely. I
It
fell
is
in love
lovely.
with John Donne's poetry when I was an undergraduate.
You
I
did?
really did. So
Wow,
it's really relevant to me in that way, doing this play.
So you have a connection to this play that, unlike any director I've ever come across, and I've known a lot of directors who've done this play.
Yeah.
And so you have a really personal connection to it.
I
because
do,
Donne is throughout this entire play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We, I remember sitting in my British literature class when I was an undergraduate and coming across Donne and his unique kind of complication, but also passion and dare I say it, wit.
Yes,
you know,
dare
he
you say
is
it.
so witty
Boom.
and ironic that I didn't know poetry could be like that.
Right, right.
And it could be that exciting.
Tracy, how long has this been on your to-do list?
Oh,
Because
a long time.
a long time.
Yeah, I find it just, and this is probably not a word that everyone would choose, but I find it a really beautiful play.
Yeah. Oh, gorgeous play.
Really hard, but a beautiful play. I also found it a role that I wasn't sure I could ask a college student to step into. That they would have the breadth of experience, that they would have, that I would even want to ask them to put themselves in that position. So while it's been a play that I've wanted to do, I hesitated.
Let's quickly tell our viewers what the play is about so they get an idea of why we're not asking students to do this.
Sure.
The play is about a professor of English literature, Vivian Baring, played by Tracy, who has loved her entire life the difficulty of the poetry of John Donne, who writes a lot about death.
Right.
And at the beginning of the play, she finds out that she is in a very late stage of ovarian cancer, which we have just recently been thinking a lot about because September is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month nationally.
Whoa.
So it's we didn't know that when we planned to do the play in September, but it's very relevant. And the rest of the play is, you might say, her dying process in the hospital and her memories of a life perhaps not well lived or not as well lived as she would have hoped. So it's tough stuff.
You know, it is. I remember seeing the original production, and I was sort of taken aback.
Can we touch you?
Can we touch you? No. You can't. Not on PBS. And one of the things I fell in love with the play was how fractured and imperfect this lead character is, and how that's what you learn almost immediately at the beginning of the play is that, wow, I'm meeting a person who really has a sincere sort of regret over sort of a life not lived the way perhaps she wished she had.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a sense in which I think that she believes at some point that she was doing it right, you know, living life, being alive, and that she had figured out how she wanted to do that, and she had done it, you know, very type A,
right,
very intentionally.
And very successfully.
And very successfully. And she was happy that the metaphysical quandaries were complex. And
right.
Yeah, she was happy in that world. And now suddenly she needs answers and doesn't have them.
Right, right. And those memories, for our viewers who don't know the play, those memories that she goes on sort of bring her to a new place in her current world that we watch as her body deteriorates. Her soul doesn't.
Right. I think that's exactly right.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
There's a scene with the students where she's her normal, harsh, and demanding, but not more than demanding, but unsympathetic self. And I think we have that. I love that scene because at the end of it, she keeps looking where those students were. They're gone now.
Right.
And
how big is the cast, Joe? It's a
10.
10. And who's cast in it?
We have a colleague of mine who's a professor of mathematics who's done quite a, we did Freud's Last Session together last year. He played C.S. Lewis and I played Freud. So he's Dr. Kalekian, the lead cancer doctor. And then a recent graduate, Ryan Maloney, he's second year out of school and he's substitute teaching now and getting ready to go to work on an MFA in acting. He's playing the role of Jason Posner, the young cancer researcher doctor. And we have a graduate student playing the role of Hannah, the nurse. I mean, Hannah
Susie,
playing the role
her
of
name is
Susie,
Hannah.
the nurse. And then several students or recent students who are playing a number of roles.
Right.
They play lab technicians, medical fellows, students in a university scene. So they're the heart. So they're the backbone of the play because they have 3 or 4 roles each.
It's written that way.
Yeah.
Everybody that does it has these 5 or 6 supernumeraries who just are everything, and they roll around the stage, and desks turn around, and things happen, and it makes it more efficient for you as a director.
I think the cast is doing all, bringing on all the pieces.
All the
that we have
scenery.
no other crew bringing things on.
Right. Tracy, what are the challenges? I mean, they're monumental, but what are some of the biggest challenges for you in this role?
Yeah, I think they come in degrees and in steps of the process. The first one, obviously, was just the amount of text that is there to get memorized, to understand. She has a very elevated sense of language, a lot of understanding of words and how they connect back to done, so becoming acquainted with done. And
Were you
acquainted with words, not as much as she is. So,
or Joe is.
And right. And that's been such a gift to
absolutely.
have someone who has that knowledge and can say that's a done reference, where we might miss it if we didn't have him. So that's been a real gift. So that was the first one, all the words. That came really early. I think the second one has been sort of acquainting myself with all the sort of medical things and the memories and psychology and the psychological processes that come with getting a port hooked to your chest, and then just recently I have shaved my head.
Hence the scarf.
Hence the scarf. And that was a choice that I made. I really felt like it was a choice that honored the lives of the women who walk through this particular process, and helps me in a really deep and personal way to connect to their lives, which I wanted to be able to do. And actually the woman who cut my hair shared a story with me just briefly, that as she was talking with someone who was experiencing cancer, the woman had said, I knew the toll my body would take, but I didn't know what it would cost my femininity. Which was a beautiful sort of concept for me to sort of embrace and think about and talk about. So those sort of psychological things, going through a code and remembering my father's, walking through the conversation about DNR and remembering having that conversation with my grandmother. Those kinds of connections in the play are what make the play so relevant to all of us. We don't have to understand done to understand the play.
No, absolutely not.
We all have the metaphysical quandaries. We all ask questions of life and death and God and all of those things.
That's one of the reasons I think the play is so beautifully written because you don't have to know a thing about Donne. She, as a teacher, she takes us
She
through.
teaches you.
She teaches us
Yeah.
about Donne in
Yeah,
the play.
she does.
Yeah,
Yeah, she does.
We have a little time left. What are the dates and the contact information on this production?
The show opens Thursday, September 18th, 8 p.m., Friday and Saturday also that week, 8 p.m., and then Sunday at 2 p.m. It's one weekend only, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 18th through the 21st.
And they can get tickets at the box office at taylor.edu, or they can call 765-998-5289. That's correct.
Right. And this is a general admission show, always this fall show, and so they can just get them at the door, not at the door, but at the box office before the show.
And how many seats in the theater?
317.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of room.
Good size, but intimate to a
Yeah,
certain extent.
it's a lovely space.
Which you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And tickets are only $7, and all of our proceeds go towards a scholarship fund to
for a
invest.
cancer victim.
Oh.
Right?
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
For Jason.
Jason Francis was a former student who died of cancer.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
Well, it's one
just
of
a
the
real
best plays
gift.
in the last 20 years, and I congratulate you for doing it, and thank you for doing it.
Thank
Thank
you.
Because it's a beautiful play, and I wish you all the luck with one of my favorite plays.
Thanks very much.
Come see
One
it.
of my favorite roles, so I'm going to have to get out to see it.
Yeah, I hope you can.
Thank you, John.
Thank you for joining
Thanks.
me.
Thanks.
I'm John O'Connell, Dean of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Join us next time on Arts Weekly when we'll visit with Andrea Zwiebel from the Honeywell Center in Wabash to see what's in store there this season. And Christy Sandmeyer from the Fort Wayne Ballet will share the details about their upcoming production of At the Edge. For up-to-the-minute arts updates, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And be sure to join us here Thursday evening at 7:30 on PBS 39. Thanks for watching Arts Weekly.
Support for Arts Weekly is provided by PBS 39, the Hour Foundation, Martin Tierney, and the Community Foundation of Greater Fort Wayne.